This is gonna be a video about my top surprises like from this generation so far. This is going to be from this generation. So since the PS5 generation started, right? And this is gonna be like a part one, part two, a part three type deal, right? So top surprises like from this generation. The first one's gonna be Scars Above. Scars Above is an action adventure, semi-horror, science fiction game. Outer space, there's alien mutations, and you have to try and escape like this planet, right? There's various types of elemental weapons, fire elements, cryo elements, electric elements, acidic elements, etc. Right? Certain enemies have weaknesses at a certain elemental weapons, right? For example, there's this big blob snow creature. It's a weakened to fire, So yeah, but yeah, elemental attacks, weaknesses are the very important in this game. As you progress, you get to upgrade things like health and effectiveness and damage. But Scars Above is very much as surprising because I was not really expecting to. I love this game, but this game, it has some flaws in its mechanics and graphics, but like it has a lot of interesting concepts and puzzles and offensive gameplay too. It was very fun. It reminds me a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn in the approach to the elemental weapons and how you have to maneuver around the different weaknesses and strengths and yeah, etc. Not as detailed as Horizon, but still. And the next one is going to be a Plague Tale Requiem. A Plague Tale Requiem. What really surprised me about this game is that this game is very similar to an Uncharted experience or like a Last of Us experience. Different, it is different. This is like a medieval times, right, where there's like this rat plague and there's like this, there's a society is basically crumbling down, right? So there's the rat plague and a fire is very important. Fire, is very important because that's the only way to make your way around this rat plague. And there's like a prophecy, but a Plague Tale Requiem in its offensive gameplay, there's not a lot of offense. You don't have a lot of offense, but in just the dialogue like is very good. The mechanics are very good. Graphically too, like it looks beautiful. Like when you play this game, a 19 at 28p 60 fps, the gameplay looks beautiful, the cutscenes beautiful, etc. But a Plague Tale Requiem, as one of those experiences, it requires patience, but once it gets going, you get to really learn about the different characters, motivations, and their personalities, and the struggles, right? And yeah, a Plague Tale Requiem. Next one is going to be a Curved Space. A Curved Space is like a 3D arcade shooter, right? A Curved Space is, so basically you're on like these, like you'll be like on these various like rocks, right? Craters or whatever, and literally the world is basically twisted. So the world is basically convexed, right? And you gotta the movement basically like you basically move a vertigo like with the world, So projectiles too as well. So projectiles travel at the curvature like of the map, So this game might make you dizzy or motion sick, but a curved space, it surprised me because again, this is one of the cheaper PS5 games. PS5 games are very expensive, and it really surprised me like in its music and the gameplay and the different game modes. The different game modes were very fun. The different bosses and stipulations, the different stipulations that you go through, right? There's a certain area where I can only kill one enemy. It's called the Radiant. So you can only kill the Radiant, and you have to do that in order to progress, right? So there's gonna be different stipulations and challenges, etc. Right? And different. There's daily runs, there's arcade modes, there's survival modes, etc. Right? And yeah, a curved space. Next one is going to be Kina. Kina, like an animated, a type action adventure game. Kina, is very fun. It is very fun, right? The enemy, you go to, you're trying to basically restore like this land, like these lands from these. I'm gonna assume I forgot what it's called, but it's called something like the Blight or whatever. And yeah, you gotta break down routes and defeat enemies and bosses, etc. Right? You gain a melee, a melee stick, and this a bow and arrow type, a range weapon, and the movement are very smooth, right? The soundtracks, the graphics, the gameplay, the soundtrack is very calming. It reminds me a little bit like when you play near Automata, right? The soundtrack is very calming and all that. But yeah, definitely Kina. I was highly surprised by it, right? Kina reminds me a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn, and like I heard some people say it's similar to a Zelda, right? And a little bit of Ratchet and Clank a feel in there, like a very little bit of that in there. But yeah, definitely Akina, definitely surprised me. Another one now is going to be last one is going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy, right? 2021 game. A Guardians of the Galaxy. It's made by the same guys that made the Avengers game. So like I was very skeptical of it. Now this is more linear, right? Like it focuses like a lot like on the characters and the different personalities. It's very much it gives you that MCU feel. It's very much like an MCU tone to the game, right? But Guardians of the Galaxy 2021, it's best to play like on the PS5 because better graphics. Like when you play like on the PS4, it's not good. It doesn't look very good. But playing it like on the PS5, right, that looks amazing in the frame rate, etc. And yeah, the only thing I like with this game, right, you cannot control all characters. I can only play the game through Star Lord's perspective, right? Yeah, it would have been nice if you could play as a Gamora or a Rocket, but you can kind of assist, or you can through a power, a super abilities, you can mix up different attacks, right? So through different command props, you can command the different characters to do a certain move or or health, etc. Right? Healing action, etc. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2021 definitely, and it is more linear. There's gonna be collectibles in the game, multiple trophies that you can get, and but again, this game again, the dialogue is very good, the personalities, the acting is very good, and the environments and the side characters, villains, etc. Right? So yeah, like, share, subscribe. Video game surprises, right? So again, we have a Curve Spaces, Playtale Requiem, right? Akina, Guardians of the Galaxy, and we have Scars Above, and we have so yeah. Thanks